This is the Happiness Project. I am Shannon White, and I am here with James Arena. Arena is one of my instructors for many, many years in polarity therapy, and he is going to talk today about happiness and what he would like to share to help other people cultivate happiness. So, James, can you introduce yourself and what type of work you do?
Okay, Shannon, hi. I'm James Arena. I have been studying and practicing polarity therapy since the 70s, the mid 70s. And I've cultivated a way of living and a way of life that I feel has given me the impetus and the motivation to keep going every day. And this year has been so stressful for most of us that I appreciate your project to look at 2021 as a source of happiness, how we can achieve that, how we can start to work in that area of moving beyond the grief that we're all feeling of death and, elimination here in the world, humanity. So I've been doing some thinking about one of your questions was what is happiness?
Yeah.
So, you go to the dictionary and the dictionary says it's joy, peace, and tranquility.
Hmm.
Well, so I went to Dr. Stone's health building book, and he's got some stuff about happiness in here. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that. Dr. Stone said that true health is the harmony of life within us. It's the harmony. It's the sound current, the frequencies of our mental attitude, our mental state. And so true harmony actually is in the mind. And when we start to focus in mentally on what makes us feel joy inside, that is the seed of our happiness, is we have to do the work. And he said, true health is the harmony within us, consisting of peace of mind, happiness, and well-being. And it's not merely a question of physical fitness, but is rather a result of the soul finding free expression through the mind and the body of that individual. Such a person radiates peace and happiness. And so what does all this mean? The soul finding free expression through the mind and the body. So if we start, we hear all the time about inner peace. What is inner tranquility? Go on the inside. So this year especially has been an explosion of what's going on the outside of the world. A disease, a pandemic, loss of life, loss of work, unemployment, families fighting, political fighting over just constant fighting with each other. We're at opposite poles. So what your goal is, I would think, is to help people with their videos to kind of start to bring those poles together. And they're two sides of our mind. We have, no, I'm worthless, I'm a piece of garbage and I need to die. Or the other one is, no, I have value. I can contribute to the world. And how do we contribute that? We have to go inside and work at it. We have to look at what is my talent? What do I have to give to the world? And it is about giving. And right now it's all about survival. So what do we want to, how can we go beyond survival? And we go beyond survival by thinking that I am actually doing better than just surviving. I'm actually looking at a broader view of what reality is. My mind can start to focus on what is really available in this empty space that we're feeling. It's a space, and grief is a space. Terror is a space. feeling threatened is a space. So what do we do with those space there? We can fill those spaces with our mental ability, and it takes a daily practice. Daily practice. I think if you spend anywhere between 30 seconds and a minute a day visualizing the day, don't visualize your whole life for the rest of your life. That's it's too exhausting. But visualize your day, and you go from day to day to day visualizing. And not only visualization, but really feeling the heart of who you are inside, that you're actually a living being with a mind, emotions, and a body. Those are actually the three principles of polarity, are the mind, the emotions, and the body. And those three principles work together. So the mind is the uppermost part, that everything begins in the mind. If I have a fear, if I'm terrified by not working or not being able to have a relationship, or if I'm afraid that I'm not going to make it, then that's our mind constantly rolling over and over and over again of the same kind of mantra. It is a mantra of negativity. So we want to do is try our best every morning to look at that mantra and saying, well, life is available here. It's here. I'm breathing. I am seeing with my eyes. I'm hearing the sounds. So those are where you start, in the mind. And that's how you go inside. You start thinking about your thinking patterns. Where does my mind go? Does my mind go jumping off the bridge? Or does my mind say, how can I actually enjoy the day and feel fulfilled here? And so that's how we begin to start to achieve joy, peace, and tranquility. And that's the key to happiness. Does that?
Yeah. Starting with the mind and your thinking patterns, and like, what are you choosing for the day? And it is a choice.
Start with mind.
Yeah.
It has to start with our own individual little mind. You know, we have all these thousands and thousands of books on ancient philosophy and the Tao and you know, old Buddhist traditions and Christian and Judaism, and all the religions of the world have an ancient philosophy. But we have all that philosophy inside of us, and we just have to tap into it. So people have been tapping into rage, anger, addiction, wanting to escape. You know, these are the things that have been happening this year. It's coming to a head. And so what we want to do right now is to start healing that part of us that wants to take off and get out. Start healing that. And one of the things to do that with is to start to take our mind and to start bringing peace back into our brain. That's where it starts, because the mind is where all the blueprints of our life are. We create it. We created our life. So we're not victims. One of the things—
we're still creating it.
Yes, procreating, thank you. So pro, what does pro mean? Well, it means—
like forward.
Yeah, forward. For. I'm for creating. I'm procreating. I'm actually in the process of creating with the creator. And one of the things is, if we can realize and really appreciate that we have a creator, no matter whether it's a man or a gender, or if it's a being, or if it's just pure energy, that's the creation, that's the creator, and we are part of the creation. And so there are two things, the creator and the creation. And if the creator was just light and sound, Dr. Stone in all of his books talk about the sound current as being the creator of life. So if you, I'm going to use your word procreating, if I'm procreating with sound in my life and light, I can do that with my mind on a daily basis. So that's a way to start. And soon after that, your emotional body wants to respond to that thought, and it feels good to be in that thought. And that feeling good is like creating an emotion. Emotion. E is energy in motion. And so like we're creating motion and action from our thoughts. And that emotion, that feeling good about life creates our physical well-being.
Yes.
But when you get sick, you know, you go to the doctor, he gives you something, or you take herbs, and you know, you're doing all the stuff that you have to do to get well, because you actually have a desire to get well. And so in that desire, it's very important to keep our mind saying, I'm going to be well. I am well. I am well.
So for the mental aspect of it, you think spending just 30 seconds to a minute each day, kind of considering how your day would go, you think that would be a really good way to cultivate happiness on a daily basis?
Yes, because if you start that way, your nervous system will start to respond. And then you might want to go from 1 minute to 5 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes to 10 minutes, so that your nervous system can start to settle in on feeling good about being where you are in the moment. And that's the key, is having your nervous system settle down. You know, we wake up from bad dreams, wake up feeling anxious about the day. So we want to calm our nervous system somehow and calm the nervous system, get it ready to go to work, give it the vitality and energy. One of Dr. Stone's favorite saying was to create youthful enthusiasm. And youthful enthusiasm until we die. Maintain that all the way. And you know how you see older people, old people in their 90s and even 100. Some of these people are over 100 years old, and they have like an affinity for life. They love life. You know, you can see it in their eyes. Their eyes are twinkling and sparkling. And that's called youthful enthusiasm. And that comes from up here. That's a way of thinking. You know, we have trauma. We have horrible situations and negative situations happening to us. So we want to create a trauma-free mental state. How would you say, if you have certain traumas in your life, how would you say to think about in your mind how to not only just resolve them, but to not have them control you? What would you do?
What I do is well, this is more body maybe, but I do breathing. So I do breath work to help that.
You do breath work,
and
that helps.
It does.
What does that do for you? What does the actual breathing do for you?
It calms my nervous system. And then
it calms your nervous.
And then recently it's also, I start noticing my brain chemistry responding. Like I feel like I can feel my serotonin and dopamine respond when I do it. And it's like a few minutes a day.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Isn't that
but I
worth
do it every day.
Yes. And isn't that worth the day?
Yes.
A few minutes of taking care of yourself?
Yes.
I'm going to take my own medicine in the morning so I can feel good for the day.
Yeah. And I do, to answer your question, as far as mentally, I like journaling. That's the way that I like to like clear mental space. So I like to journal, like, how do I want to feel? And what is it that I'm looking for? And then I do an exercise, which will be one of these videos, but it's called a legitimacy exercise. And so it helps you feel legitimate about what you want.
Oh, I
And
like
it,
that. Legitimate. Uh-huh.
yeah. And it makes everything line up. It makes your brain, your emotions, and your body all get into alignment about what it is that you're wanting.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Good. Legitimate.
Yeah.
Because legitimate actually is something authentic in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your own authenticity.
Yeah.
And some people don't feel like they have their own authenticity. They're not
No.
authentic. They've been learning book-wise and what people tell them how to be, what people share that, disciplined on what you should be doing. But actually, true, authentic person says, is that right for me? Is it good for me? Do I want that? What feels best for me?
Right.
And I just think that that's the best place to go.